The Indiana National Guard called in to help people recover from this week's storms. We'll have an update on power outages and a look at the next round of wet weather heading this way in an AccuWeather alert.
Doubling down on Hammond, Indiana, the Bears brass saying the Hoosier State is their sole focus for a new stadium.
And we'll show you how the bravery and commitment of some Chicago first responders is being honored tonight.
But we begin at 6:30 with the weather. More rain could be falling on the area tonight.
And people who are cleaning up from this week's tornadoes are telling us that, as you can imagine, they're getting weary from the stormy weather. Meteorologist Cheryl Scott joins us now with our ABC7 AccuWeather forecast. Cheryl.
Yeah, storm fatigue. I think we are all feeling this, and really hearts going out to all those impacted that are really dealing with the damage from these storms. And there's just been so much of it this summer. Unfortunately, the trend, more storms in the forecast. A live look outside right now, we can see a bit more of the skyline than just about 1-2 hours ago when we had some low level hanging clouds and moisture. That's a good sign, right? 72 degrees. More rain though on the way. You can see some scattered showers through the city back to the west. All of this below severe limits, and that is the main takeaway at this point in time. We are still seeing some spotty light rain around Valparaiso, Porter County, and then you can see right along I-90 here, just northwest of the city, back towards the north of Campton Hills, Kane County, and northern DeKalb. You're getting in on some steadier rainfall here. That will continue to push to the east this evening, but still monitoring back to the west. More showers and storms expected to blossom that could impact us overnight, bringing a flooding threat, potentially a strong storm or two with high wind gusts and more rain into the start of the weekend. We'll time it all out in a few minutes, guys.
Okay, Cheryl, thank you. The race is on to get power restored in Lake County, Indiana. There is no school tomorrow for students in Hobart and no mail deliveries in St. John. Right now, more than 150,000 customers remain without power in Lake County alone. NIPSCO estimating it will be next Friday before it's all restored in northwest Indiana. ABC7's John Garcia has an update tonight from St. John.
Governor Mike Braun signed a disaster declaration for the entire state of Indiana following these storms. He also deployed the Indiana National Guard to help out with some of the cleanup. Crews from the town of St. John drive a caravan of pickup trucks and other heavy equipment to clear fallen trees from city streets and yards. It's a huge job. There are thousands and thousands of them all over the place.
This is the first time I've experienced this in my whole entire life. It's sad, it's devastating, and it came out of nowhere.
Power remains out to more than 200,000 Northwest Indiana NIPSCO customers. That's making it difficult for many people in their homes, but also businesses, including many restaurants and gas stations. The utility has all hands on deck working around the clock. They've also brought in about 1,200 contractors from out of state to help.
This was a historic weather event. We saw 100-mile-per-hour winds.
They finished the deck in the backyard of this St. John home on Monday. On Tuesday, a tree crashed down onto it. Red Cross volunteers walking through some of the neighborhoods to see firsthand what they're dealing with here.
We also try to seek out the damaged areas and try to assess the severity of damage so we know how to reach out to them on an ongoing basis.
In Hobart, the Humane Society building was damaged. Volunteers are now busy removing pets to homes in the area for the time being.
We kicked off Clear the Shelters this month, and little did we know we'd be clearing them in a whole different way. Loss of power, assessing structural damage.
Aside from many of the businesses which are closed because they have no electricity, schools are also closed. Many of the students returned earlier this week, but now they're off again until Monday. In St. John, Indiana, John Garcia, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
John, thank you. You can find real-time power outage numbers with the ABC7 Power Outage Tracker. Just scan that QR code or go to our news app or website.
The Chicago Bears appear more focused than ever on making a stadium deal happen in Hammond, Indiana. But today they made it clear that if they move across that state line, the team will not be changing its name. Craig Wall reports on what team executives said today about Indiana being their main game plan.
It's reached that point now where we are starting to get some clarity. Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren saying today that the first site under consideration in Hammond, the Lost Marsh Golf Course area, has been fully tested and is a viable site for a new stadium. They are still doing feasibility studies on the second site at the Wolf Lake Terminals location, including soil testing that was underway as of Wednesday. Both sites could be combined for the mixed-use complex the Bears want to build.
In the moment that we finish our due diligence and have the appropriate capital stack and financing together, we are looking forward to making a decision so we can break ground and get our project going forward.
And while Hammond is ready to roll out the red carpet for the Bears, no name change is planned if the team moves.
We will be the Chicago Bears whether we're in Arlington or whether we're in Hammond.
Talks with Illinois lawmakers about building in Arlington Heights collapsed at the end of May when the legislative session ended, and not much has happened since. Governor J.B. Pritzker at the state fair earlier in the day said the onus is on the Bears to draft legislation if they are still interested in Arlington Heights.
But it is on them, just as it is for on any organization, a business or otherwise, that wants help from the state of Illinois. To come to us and tell us exactly what it is now that they know what parameters are acceptable to the legislature.
Bears executives say they understand that fans might initially struggle if the team moves from Soldier Field to Hammond, but a brand new domed stadium might change their mind.
Once people see the building, once they get in there, once they understand that our top priority from day one was a world-class stadium experience, we think we'll make that adjustment. We think Bears fans are up for that.
Arlington Heights advocates hoping for a miracle comeback.
I think the best option for everybody, the best possible use for that land, and the best place for the Bears is here in Arlington Heights, and I hope we see it get done.
Well, somebody mentioned the commissioner. He has said to us many times in league meetings, hope is not a strategy. We have to deal with the here and now.
Craig Wall, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Craig, thank you. A vote by the Chicago School Board today on where to allow 2 questions on the November ballot. One of the questions would ask if Illinois should impose a millionaire's tax to boost K-12 education funding statewide. As ABC7 Sarah Schulte reports, some board members were a no vote, a no-show for the vote.
It is not something the Chicago School Board typically does, but today the board passed 2 revenue-related questions for voters on November's ballot. But the move is symbolic because the referendums are non-binding. The special meeting was called for 9:30 a.m., yet not one board member was in their seats. So Chicago School Board President Sean Hardin gavelled out. But Chicago Teachers Union-backed members were determined. After some legal maneuvering, the meeting was recalled a couple hours later.
While this doesn't address today's concern, we do have an obligation to look into the future as well.
Weeks after rejecting a balanced budget presented by CPS in favor of one that includes state revenue yet to exist, the school board voted to place 2 questions on the November ballot: a millionaire's tax and financial penalties for underdeveloped city properties, both revenue ideas for future education funding.
We have this opportunity that comes once in a while to ask the voters of Chicago what do they want for their children.
But 7 school board members who voted with CPS on its budget did not show up for today's special meeting.
Perhaps they didn't want to vote no, but what it does demonstrate to me is a lack of leadership.
CTU-backed members most running for election blasted the 7 members who did not show, one being Jessica Biggs, who was running for school board president. In a written statement, Biggs writes in part, quote, "This term in the CPS Board of Education has been rife with chaos and disorganization. The meeting in question today, for example, has been scheduled and rescheduled 3 times with no consideration for the other important work board members do in the communities we represent. Had I been able to attend today, I'd have voted firmly in support of the millionaire's tax referendum," end quote. School board member Jenny Custer is also a candidate for school board president. She did show up for the special meeting, but voted no on the referendums.
We need to do things right now today to fill this budget gap. And I just don't know that these are the 2 answers. I don't think they're fully baked.
Because the special meeting was last minute, other members who failed to show say they had to work or had personal plans. Although one of those members called today's vote nothing more than a publicity stunt by CTU-backed members. A special board meeting was necessary because Monday is the deadline to get questions on the ballot. It is the same day that CPS teachers must return to the classroom. The following Monday, students return. Sarah Schulte, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
6 Chicago police officers and detectives were honored today for their service after a shooting that killed one of their own and injured another officer.
The shooting happened in April at Swedish Hospital. John Bartholomew was killed after transporting a suspect. Nelson Crespo was critically hurt.
Our newest reporter, Gabe Ferris, has more now on the first responders and their bravery.
Today, the faces of heroes.
Sergeant Emily Ryan of the 12th District.
Chicago police officer Brian Richards and Sergeants Emily Ryan, John Fazy, Timothy Fitzpatrick, Anthony Green, and Detective James Carroll are now August Officers of the Month. The officers recognized for their response to a shooting at the Northside Swedish Hospital in April that killed one of their own. Police Memorial Foundation Board President Sandra Wortham calling them courageous.
That they took that offender into custody safely. That armed offender who fled the hospital after murdering one of their colleagues and critically injured another, and they took him into custody safely because they are professionals.
The 6, some of the first on scene after a robbery suspect allegedly opened fire, killing Officer John Bartholomew and injuring Nelson Crespo as they escorted Alfonso Talley to an exam. Talley has pleaded not guilty to murder and attempted murder. Prosecutors claim he hid a gun under a blanket.
Are you pushing for answers in terms of how this happened, how the suspect managed to pull this off?
You know, I am going to, from the foundation perspective, leave that to the proper investigative authorities, if that's what they find to be necessary.
Today, we asked the Chicago Police Department about the status of the investigation. We have not yet heard back. Now, almost 4 months later, Crespo is still recovering. His sister previously telling us it will be a miracle if he can ever walk again.
We still don't know how long it will last. We don't know what portion insurance, the insurance will cover. Long term, we may need to make modifications to his house.
An online fundraiser remains open for Crespo and his family.
That I know that he is courageously working to recover, and from what I hear, and I will say I have not had the honor of meeting him yet, but I know a lot of people have, and it sounds like he is truly, truly the hero that we all understand him to be.
And the foundation's board president there says it was the responding officers who quickly preserved evidence for the criminal case that's now underway. The suspect, Alfonso Talley, is due back in court in November. Gabe Ferris, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
All right, Gabe, a very important story. Thank you. And again, a warm welcome to Gabe as he joins the Eyewitness News team.
Glad to have him.
Yes, we are. Scammers switching to video calls. Jason Knowles and the I-Team with a warning about the new way thieves are trying to earn your trust.
An update to another story the I-Team has been following. Flock announces changes to its controversial security system protocols as one suburb takes on Flock technology.
And the Air Force Thunderbirds are grounded for now. How the team is preparing for a potentially stormy air and water show. Now to a story update on a story the I-Team has been following on police surveillance technology. The company Flock is responding to growing concerns over privacy. This comes as the city of Harvey unveiled its new partnership with Flock today. Just yesterday, the I-Team showed you how Harvey police are deploying Flock technology, including drones and license plate readers. Flock says the tools helped solve more than 1 million crimes last year, but many people are worried about their possible misuse. The company says it's listening to the public and making changes.
These changes fall into 3 big areas: privacy, security, and accountability. Together, they mark a new chapter for Flock.
Flock says it's reducing the time it holds on to data from 30 days to 7 days. It will also suspend user access if it detects abnormal activity.
The I-Team tonight with an alert about a new type of scam call using video calls.
You're likely ignoring regular robocalls, but now scammers are trying to build your trust through the use of video when they reach out.
Consumer investigator Jason Knowles has what you need to know.
Experts say scammers are now using FaceTime and other video calling systems to try to talk to you face to face. They're doing it to appear legitimate, and AI can make it more believable.
People consider it safe. That has become the new channel for fraudsters and scammers.
FaceTime or video calls may feel like a good way to vet out a scammer, but Clayton Leah Broughton, a fraud prevention expert at Truecaller, says fraudsters are using that trust to fool you.
But because it's so familiar and intimate with people, the fraudsters and scammers who are astute social engineers are taking advantage of that and making it very, very personal indeed.
The most common scams are people pretending to be tech support, saying there's something wrong with your device, and they request to have remote access to your device or screen share, all to gain access to your information.
But you think it's safe because you're like, well, a scammer wouldn't video call me? You wouldn't
exactly.
think.
Yeah, there's a presumption of good intent, which really doesn't exist. And what they're doing too is they're using a feature of screen sharing on FaceTimes.
Criminals are also impersonating financial institutions and asking for access to your bank account or convincing you to move money. Experts say scammers can micro-target you first, researching you on social media, creating a script, and then disguising their appearance and voice with AI.
What we see is very surgically targeted, highly personalized, and much more productive for the bad guys.
To avoid being a victim, don't answer video calls unless they're coming from your contact list. Block and report strange numbers as spam through your wireless provider and smartphone. You can also check with your wireless provider to see what services they provide. Finally, you can use third-party services like Haya, Nomo Robo, TNS, and Truecaller to help you block unwanted calls.
They're taking advantage of FaceTime being relatively obscure compared to phone calls and texts, and that's exactly what they're hoping for.
Never allow remote access on your devices from people reaching out to you. Never move money no matter who is asking. Instead, find numbers from verified sources and call companies and banks on your own. More resources to block unwanted calls on our free news app and website. Jason Knowles, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Still to come, a key vote to decide whether President Trump's name should be on the Kennedy Center.
Taking a live look outside, the stormy weather pattern continuing to bring rain and the threat of floods to the area. We have an AccuWeather alert after the break.
The Board of Trustees at the Kennedy Center has voted again to add President Trump's name to the facade. According to one board member, the front of the building would read the John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, restored and renovated by President Donald J. Trump. Earlier this year, a judge ordered Trump's name to be removed from the building, saying only Congress can change the name. The board also voting today for a second time to close the Kennedy Center for 2 years for renovations. The transformation of O'Hare's Terminal 3 is nearly complete. Today, 2 gates reopened. There are also 4 more baggage claims. The upgrades include an expanded passenger corridor between concourses K and L. The construction on Terminal 3 is expected to be complete by next summer.
In the aftermath of this week's storms, with so many still without power, a local chain of grocery stores is stepping in to help. Strachan Van Til and parent company Hy-Vee are giving away hot dogs, chips, apples, water, and bags of ice to storm victims. The giveaway continues tomorrow and Saturday at 6 Strachan Van Til locations in Northwest Indiana.
And the weather just compounds problems for a lot of people trying to recover from flooding, from storms and heavy winds. As we look outside right now, you can see very little precipitation falling. I have seen some umbrellas outside, Cheryl, but nothing major right now.
No, nothing severe at this moment in time, but rain and storms expected to pick back up here late this evening and overnight. So we do have an AccuWeather alert for a heavy rain threat, especially southwest. Morning rain expected with more storms. That's the theme as we head into early Saturday. It has just been nonstop with measurable precip every day this week, and so many days with severe warnings and damage across the area. So many still without power. This is a live look outside right now where we still have the clouds, the gray conditions, a little bit of drizzle in the city. You can see this line beginning to form here. And this is from Chicago all the way back towards DeKalb. Pretty steady rain beginning. So this is the beginning of what we're expecting to kind of blossom a bit more as we head into the overnight hours. Bloomingdale, steady rain. Campton Hills picking up there in intensity. But it's not just here. Notice back to the west out of Iowa, this broken line, some lightning and storms out of Iowa. So the gaps will continue to fill in, and the forecast is for this to continue to intensify as we go through the night. Severe thunderstorm watch box in place to the south, and you can see just issued here for our far southern counties as we go into the evening. This does include parts of Northwest Indiana, Kankakee there, and over towards Livingston. So as we go into tonight, we have to keep an eye on these storms as they are going to slowly drift their way farther to the south and east. And in addition to that watch, we also have a flood watch that has been issued here for our counties along and south of I-80, because that line of rain picking up in intensity will have the ability to produce a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and these storms likely will start to train. So this is at 1, 2 in the morning, and here you can see the intensity really blossoming along and south of I-80, Northwest Indiana as well. Into tomorrow morning, we're still looking at those showers lingering as we go through 10:30, 11 a.m., and then it becomes a bit more scattered into our Friday afternoon. So threat number 1 is a late this evening, overnight, a flooding threat. That is the main concern, but any storm could also bring strong gusty winds, not what people need, especially as we continue to clean up from all of the storm damage throughout this week. As we head late Friday into Saturday, pointing at the possibility here of more storms into early Saturday morning. It is a busy weekend here in Chicago, air and water show with some clouds and some rain lingering throughout the morning hours on our Saturday. Looking for some dry time Saturday afternoon and evening. So let's hope this holds true. I know it has been so active, but our big threat here this evening and into tomorrow will be the potential of that flooding, and really along our southern counties where we could see a quick 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's also where we have a level 2 out of 5 on that severe weather threat scale. Heavy rain, flash flooding will be a concern, and tomorrow a level 1 out of 5. You get the drill. It is just continuing here, and we don't catch a break until we get into Monday and Tuesday of next week. So more rain chances on the way through the weekend. For tonight, AccuWeather alert as we continue to track that line of storms continuing to develop. Storms likely early Saturday, Sunday, scattered, isolated. Dry time as well, not a washout. Monday, Tuesday, mostly sunny. partly sunny skies. We'll take that break because we're going to need it, guys.
Yeah, looking at Monday and Tuesday with open eyes.
Yeah.
All right, thanks very much, Cheryl. You can get the latest forecast anytime with the free ABC7 Chicago News app. Just scan the QR code on your screen for a link to download.
4 more rescued beluga whales are now in the care of the Shedd Aquarium. Look at them arriving this morning to the museum campus. This arrival follows an initial rescue of 4 belugas in late July. All of them came from a closed marine park in Ontario, Canada. For now, all 8 rescued whales will remain out of view of guests in the Shedd's 3 million-gallon Abbott Oceanarium as those whales get settled in with their new surroundings. Beautiful animals. Makes you kind of emotional seeing them transferred over. And there is a new billionaire out there after buying the winning Powerball ticket in Illinois. It was purchased at a Hy-Vee convenience store in Quincy. That is in the southwestern part of the state. Now, we don't know who the winner or winners might be. 2 anonymous people shared the prize.
I'm really regretting not going to southwestern Quincy to buy a lottery ticket right now. One of the biggest events of the summer is almost here.
And we have a preview of this year's Air and Water Show up next. The Air Force Thunderbirds are planning to soar over the city for the annual Air and Water Show.
The weather could cause some problems, but pilots say they are ready, and ABC7's Mayor Kawash has a preview tonight.
People living in Chicago may hear some very loud noises through this weekend. That's the sound of the Thunderbirds blasting their way to the lakefront. The 67th Air and Water Show returning to Chicago this weekend, a beloved event that brings a special atmosphere every year.
You just get amped. Like everyone starts clapping, cheering, everyone's excited, and just makes you excited, which then translates to being able to have an awesome show.
The Thunderbirds will be joined by the U.S. Army Golden Knights as the headliners of the 2 shows scheduled for this weekend. City organizers say there will be a little bit of everything for people of all ages, and it is free to attend.
We have the Thunderbirds back this year, which is amazing, and then we also have the Golden Knights. Those are our headliners, and then we have a ton of civilian performers and other military performers. Then we also have some water demonstrations with CFD and CPD helicopters as well.
There will also be some civilian pilots flying around in their own planes, and it's a homecoming for Ed Hamill, who was born and raised in Park Ridge. He's flying for the Folds of Honor organization, which gives out thousands of dollars in scholarships to families of fallen veterans and first responders.
I love coming home, first of all. I love the people of Chicago and flying for the people of Chicago and spreading the word about Folds of Honor and what they do for the families of military and first responders.
Rain has been sweeping through Illinois and Indiana this week, and there could be more in the forecast this weekend. Organizers say they will work with city officials to adjust the schedule as needed, but these pilots say they're prepared as long as the rain can just hold off.
We have different shows that we do. So we have a high show, low show, and a flat show. So it just depends on where the clouds are at, and we'll be able to go fly.
Now, as long as the weather allows, they are planning to do some practice runs today and tomorrow, and then the actual shows will take place Saturday and Sunday from 10:30 a.m. to 3 o'clock on both days. You'll want to get there early, and hopefully the rain stays out of our way. From Gary, Mayor Kawash, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, let's hope. Thank you, Mayor. And we will have special live coverage tomorrow morning ahead of the Air and Water Show. Our Tracy Butler will be out there during our morning show and on Eyewitness News at 11 o'clock.
Okay, good times and good memories here.
Oh, look at you. Oh, look at you. Oh, yeah, this is nice.
Thanks to producer Sam for pulling these up from my social media page. This is from when I flew with the Thunderbirds. Mark,
what was it like,
Thunderbirds
Tanya?
as well.
What was it like?
I was very honest about it. I threw up 7 times.
She still has the thumbs up at the end.
Guys, we flew to Decatur, Illinois in 20 minutes.
First
We were
market.
looking for clear skies.
You did it, right?
I did it.
You did
It was
Thunderbirds and you did
awesome.
Blue Angels.
And you did Blue Angels.
Yeah, and they didn't lose their lunches, unlike.
No, we didn't.
Almost. I felt it, but it didn't happen. So
The
Warriors,
coolest
but
experience.
once in a lifetime to be up there. What?
Second only to childbirth.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.